the groomers.
So tired of pedophiles. So done with perverts. Wishing you were still
A woman.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. We live in a time of monsters roaming the earth, and if you wish to see this demon activity in real life and not just in a fantasy genre, you will look only as far as Hollywood in the entertainment industry, man. These people are absolute monsters. Check this out, the sad case of Neo. Have you ever heard of Neo? He's a rapper from back in the day. He probably hasn't had a big hit for a while. I got nothing against the guy. I think I liked his music like 15 years ago when it was popular. Anyway, Neo went thermonuclear viral this week, scolding parents who let their kids make life-changing gender decisions as minors, forgetting their roles, he says. Here from the New York Post, last one was from Fox News. Neo condemns parents who allow their kids to undergo gender transition. They've forgotten their role in their parents' life. You wouldn't let your little boy eat candy all day. You wouldn't rock with that, he says. Little kids don't know what the hell they want. And they don't know anything about the world around them. We don't let them purchase cigarettes. We don't let them drive cars. We don't let them purchase alcohol. We don't let them join the military or buy guns. So you gotta cut it off. You gotta say, yo, there are things that adults can do, consenting adults can do, and there are things that children are not allowed to do, okay? And Neo is just saying this very basic thing, and he went thermonuclear saying that. Here's a clip that did 2.5 million views of Neo going on a not super well-known podcast and effectively saying, we can't allow this madness to overtake our children. And also, speaking of taking the children, California might do that if we don't give into the madness. Watch.
Parents have almost forgotten what the role of a parent is.
Amen.
It's like, okay,
lost control. If
your little boy comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to be a girl, and you just let him rock with that,
right.
He's 5.
Right. And where did he get that from?
If you let this 5-year-old boy decide to eat candy all day, he's going to do that.
Exactly.
Like, when did it become a good idea to let a 5-year-old, let a 6-year-old, let a 12-year-old make a life-changing decision for themselves?
Right.
When did that happen?
Right.
Like, I don't understand that. I don't get that.
And to medicate these young kids that are 5, 6, growing up and knowing that it affects their brain, it affects their organs, it makes them sick, but they're not allowed to do drugs, they're not allowed to do alcohol.
Right.
We can medicate them up.
He can't drive a car yet, but he can decide his sex.
Right, right. What sexual orientation, and he can cut off his pee-pee, and that, to me, that makes no sense whatsoever.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor that they either passed or are trying to pass a law in LA that states if your child comes to you and asks to do some of these things and you say no, they could take your kid from you.
Yeah, that's true. Just passed in California.
That makes no sense.
They want us to have no control over our children.
I don't get it.
In schools,
I don't get it.
Hospitals, libraries.
Yeah.
They just want to manipulate. You got to understand, when they're so young and they're already, that's
impressionable.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And from them, they're going to believe what you say. I mean, we say Santa Claus is real. You know, the Easter Bunny.
Believe it. Like,
right, exactly.
Like,
they know what they're doing.
Remember who you're dealing with. Like, I can't take credit for it, but I heard somebody say one time, he was like, all right, if your son comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to be a girl, ask your son, what is a girl?
That's a good one.
What is he going to do? He's going to say, well, he might want to play with dolls. All right, you want to play with dolls. Fine, play with dolls.
Right.
But you're a boy playing with dolls.
That's right.
I want to wear pink. All right, cool, wear pink. But you're a boy
That's right.
wearing pink. No issue with the LBGT. I have no problem with with nobody. Okay,
Right.
Love who you love, do what you do.
Exactly.
I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and it wasn't but two genders, and that's just how I rocked.
Me
now,
too.
You could identify as a goldfish if you feel it.
Right.
I don't care. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not finna call you a goldfish, but if you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. It's all
Amen.
good. I mean,
Well said.
it's just, we live in a weird time, man. We do. Trigger warnings. What the hell is a trigger warning?
Yes, exactly.
It's just when I
It
just
is
don't know
weird
when
times.
the world became so sensitive. Like comedians can't tell jokes no more.
No.
Like, everybody's offended. It's a joke. It's a
Right.
comedian.
Right.
It's a joke. You're not supposed to take it serious. It's a joke.
Right.
His literal job is to joke. And
About everyone.
About everyone
Right.
and everything. And people want to get offended and like, don't say that. That's triggering. Oh my God. You know what?
Yeah.
California Democrats passed law to remove children from parents' home without consent. Check this out. California Democrats passed a bill allowing children to be placed in state custody if parents aren't woke enough. Worse, the bill allows interns and trainees to make the decision. Reform California says this law is dangerous and illegal assault on parents' rights. So they're not wrong. This is AB 665. Very close to 666. This was introduced by Assemblywoman Wendy Carrillo of Los Angeles. So there you go. Again, neo-right. Allowing for the removal of children over the age of 12 from the parents' home without a court order. Specifically, the bill allows for these children to agree to mental health treatment or counseling, as well as to be rehomed at a residential shelter without parental consent. Oh my God. Okay, so this is just nuts. I mean, this seems like super common sense. How dare you? This is a huge, obvious W for parental rights. Every parent throughout the human history has agreed with Neo that little kids don't have the capacity or the brainstem to make life-altering decisions, that people that want to mutilate children are deeply evil, and people that want to take your children from you are the worst of all of society. And then that shows complete and total societal collapse. So what happened next? He apologized. That's right. Neo apologizes. I'd like to express my deepest apologies, he said. After much reflection, I'd like to express my deepest apologies to anyone that may have hurt with my comments on parenting or gender identity. Blah, 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 blah. You've seen it again and again and again. This always happens. Somebody comes out and says what they believe. This guy's got 6 million followers. So he's too big to allow to have free thought. And then he gets the phone call. Neo apologizes for parents of trans kids. Neo has apologized for remarks about gender identity and parenting trans children. Interesting how CNN doesn't really go into the details here. I personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman. There are two genders, and that's just how I rocked. You could identify as a goldfish if you like. I don't care. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try and make the play for me to call you a goldfish. But if you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. There's literally nothing wrong with what he's saying. What he's saying is you can't force me to change my behaviors based on your personal identity. Okay? You're not allowed to put words in my mouth. I have freedom of speech and freedom of thought. CNN, of course, doesn't agree with this. Neither does the writer of this piece, Lisa Respers France. That's right. So, Neo had to apologize. Neo got a phone call. Neo was told, you're not allowed to say that. And who are the people powerful enough to make these calls, to get these, as Matt Walsh calls it, cowards? Why do rappers fold like lawn chairs? Ian Michael Chong says. Matt Walsh says, you are a total coward. Don't do this anymore. You look like a record label called him saying, if you do this post of this exact statement we already wrote up, you will be canceled and lose everything. If you don't do this post. Wow. Your label forced you on your knees for telling the truth. This is cowardice. Buckled under pressure. What a shame. You said nothing wrong. If anything, most America agrees with what you said. What a joke. Never surrender to the mafia. Singer Neo caves with his deepest apologies to the alphabet community, saying children should not be medically transitioned. Who has the power to do this? Who picks up the phone? Just recognize this, ladies and gentlemen. Black men apologizing for speaking the truth makes me so sick to my stomach. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, there are monsters that roam this earth. There are people that have wild amounts of pressure to put on those who are in the entertainment business, because you're not allowed to become big on social media or the entertainment business or the record label business unless you are part of the programming. They need to know you're part of the programming. And doing something like this forces them to take a knee and to show who their real masters are. Who are the people actually running the show? Who are the puppeteers? And what is their agenda? And when somebody like this gets off message or off schedule, then they need to be brought back to heel. That's what's happening right here. And you see it all across the board. Every single time somebody says something that goes against the modern doctrine of this Black Sabbath faith, this godless faith of secularism. And all of these people bend the knee for a little extra cash, for a little extra time in the record label, or to continue to be allowed to have all the trappings of fame that they've become accustomed to. It is satanic. It is deeply wrong. And Neo should be utterly ashamed of himself. Completely and totally ashamed of himself. What a disgrace. I'm old enough to remember when rappers were bad. Tupac is rolling over in his grave. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Cowardice reigns supreme among these people. And if you are someone who doesn't have any moral constitution or conviction, then you truly do fold like a lawn chair. The bravest people out there are the ones who say that kind of stuff, are famous, and then they get way more popular when they don't apologize, and you know who they are. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.